PlayStation Neo.
What is it?
Nintendo NX.
When is it? Hypothesize with us.
On this episode of Watch,
Chat, Play. Thank you for joining us on our 10th episode of Watch, Chat, Play. So that's 10 weeks of quality, just groundbreaking,
top freaking notch
video game journalism. So, I mean, you're welcome more than anything else. So, thank you for spending your time with us. But more importantly, you're welcome for the time we've given to you. Because this has been taking a lot of my free time.
It's been taking a lot of my space.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's I guess I don't really use this room very often. But hey, it's whatever.
I mean, I use it, so.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, so a lot of stuff happened this week. A lot of really important stuff.
Like maybe you getting really old.
But you also getting really old. See, if you didn't think that Cameron and I were meant to work together, we were both born within the span of a week of one another.
It's only like 2 days.
It's 2 days, 2 days apart in the same month. Mine was on Sunday, the 24th.
And I was Tuesday, 26th.
So happy birthday. I got you a present.
Happy birthday.
A little something. I got you a little something. It's not here.
Why would you give me something, for one?
Because it's your birthday and it's customary to get somebody a present. So I got you a present and then I left it somewhere. So he'll get that tomorrow. But yeah, man, happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday to you.
Thank
you got
you.
a big one.
I did. And this, like, I brought this. My little sister, Rayanne, she sent me a text message the night before my birthday. My birthday's Eve. And she said, what are your top 5 favorite superheroes? So I said Captain America, Nightwing, Spider-Man, Batman, and then Iron Man, which she didn't have time to color because you know how busy kids are. So Rayanne doesn't necessarily watch this show. She's not really our target audience.
Yeah.
She thinks we're dorks. But thank you, baby sister, for my awesome hand-painted birthday present.
That's pretty sweet.
So I thought that's pretty cool. I walked in and there were streamers everywhere. There were balloons everywhere outside. What happened on your birthday?
My mom and little sister decorated. They do that every year. I got to leave work early. So my mom's like, well, you not home, are you? I said, well, yeah, I left early. Don't come outside. Okay. But yeah, my little sister likes to decorate for me. And it's adorable. Yeah,
so you work on your birthday?
Yeah.
Me too. So kids, think about that. The older you get, the more you will work on your birthday because bills don't pay themselves.
Correct.
Correct. All right, so let's jump right into it because there's a lot of stuff that was announced on pretty much every news channel, and it's pertaining specifically to Nintendo. Nintendo made a really, really big decision, and I actually think it's kind of a smart decision in that they are delaying their NX console officially until March of next year.
Yes, I like it.
And from what I understand, they're going to tether the new Legend of Zelda Wii U / NX. That'll be tethered with it. That'll be one of their launch titles, I'm sure.
That has to make this, the Wii U, the only console in Nintendo history that has not got its own Zelda game. If it's going to share Zelda Wii U with the NX, it never got its own.
No, everything else has been on something else before. I mean, HD remakes, but Twilight Princess was on the Wii. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
That's crazy. Well, the Virtual Boy, that doesn't count.
But that suggests that they're really trying to rebuild their business model and try to do something else with it. Because if you look at the stats on anything, and you can Google this really easily, Nintendo is the least well-performing console of the big three. You know, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony. Nintendo is the little kid brother who won't leave the two big brothers alone when they're playing.
But they make awesome games.
They make really pretty good games.
Yeah, that's like they know what they're doing when it comes to level design and
yes,
Mario.
But it takes them forever to dish out their content.
Yeah, that's true.
And every conversation I've had at work since they announced that they were going to delay the NX till next year, everybody is mad because they feel like they bought the Wii U and spent all this money on it, and now they're getting left behind. Which I don't necessarily disagree with them, but I love my Wii U, so I don't care. I have Starfox on it. I love playing Nintendo. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD remake. I love that game. Played Pokken Tournament. Played the crap out of that game. Smash Bros. Was great. Mario Kart 8 is great. Like every game that I've bought on that console, I have yet to not like a game. I love my Wii U. I do a lot.
Oh, thank you, Ashley, by the way, for Starfox.
Oh, you got freak nice. I got freak out too. Yeah. How you liking Starfox?
I like it. I played the first level, and it was a nostalgia trip. Really,
That's exactly what I thought. I time traveled, and it was fun. I was back in Corneria.
It's good.
Getting mad at Slippy because he's the worst pilot in the entire galaxy. I got him, Fox! Oh no, Fox! It's the worst pilot. I have no idea why he's not. I would have fired him decades ago.
Yeah, he's not very skilled, but he's a mechanic, so he's useful.
So, hypothesize with us. We're going to talk about a lot of theories that we have about a couple different things. But before we go into that segment, I want to talk about how smart of a decision it was for them to wait until March of next year. So, the first thing I thought of when I heard March was tax season.
Yes.
So, we're into April. April is almost pretty much over. So, April 15th, 16th, or 17th, depending on where you live, that's when tax day is. So, we call that in the jobs that we have. We've never said where we work, but I think it's inferred enough to where people would know.
Oh, that's true.
But
are we allowed to say where we work?
I don't want to, because I don't ever want to feel beholden to the fact that we have.
That's true.
So I feel like you can piece together where we work. But I don't ever want to say it because I don't want to owe anybody anything, and I don't want anybody from work to ever be like, well, you're calling us out or whatever. I don't ever want to live that dream. Anyway,
I work at the hospital.
I work for myself. On this YouTube channel, this is my only source of income, and it's not monetized, so obviously I don't make money.
Unless you watching tell a friend about us and send to that friend, and that friend sends to two friends, and those two friends.
Yeah, it's essentially what we're doing is a pyramid scheme here. That's essentially what we're doing. Anyway, so we call tax season second Christmas pretty much. That's what I've always called it because everybody, Christmas comes and goes, they do whatever they do, and then come, March, April. That's when they come back and they buy the ridiculous stuff they don't necessarily need, but tax time come around, they start buying stuff. So I think Nintendo knows full well that they cannot outperform Sony and Microsoft at Christmas time. They can't. They cannot.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
So I think it was really, really smart for them to wait until tax season where everybody else pretty much already has their systems that they were going to buy.
That's a good point.
And then launch the NX with the, new Legend of Zelda as their launch title.
I like that, yeah.
That was one of the smarter business decisions I think they would... I don't know if that's why they made it, but it makes sense to me. That's why I think they did it. So they're writing off 2016. So 2016 is the lost cause. But I think that they're going to start 2017 in much better position than any of the other big three.
And March, you're not going to have any big-name launch games other than that. So if they do Zelda alongside that, that's a game and a console almost guaranteed.
Yeah, so...
That expendable cash.
Because they paired Mario Kart with it. They paired Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers was a game that would sell a console. Mario Kart was a game that would sell a console. Starfox wasn't really, so they tried. They tried, but it didn't really work out. But I think that would Legend of Zelda, if it was exclusive to the NX, would you buy an NX?
I would almost have to, because I'm a huge Zelda fan. So they got a sale for me.
And I think a lot of people are going to agree on that. And from what I keep on understanding, as we tether into speculation, it sounds like a lot of what they did with the Wii, where a lot of the Wii games play on the Wii U, it sounds like a lot of the Wii U games will port to the NX. Okay, so you threw some crazy stuff at me before we shot. So I'll give you the floor. This is all you.
Listening to a podcast today, Game Scoop, they had a listener submitted, I guess, not really reader, theory that this PlayStation Neo, this is kind of a stretch, but it was mind-blowing. The Neo is kind of a
Keanu Reeves based system.
Exactly.
All Matrix.
Exactly.
Really excited about it.
No, it's Nintendo. Okay? Bear with me. So, they're saying that they're supporting their games on other platforms. Yeah, then they specifically listed the PlayStation 4.
Who's they as in
Nintendo?
Okay.
Yep.
Nintendo specifically said
Nintendo has said that they're going to find a way to stream their stuff on other consoles. It's not going to be a direct link. This is the what's the word I want? The
rumor mill?
Rumor that's from a source that is a good source.
Like a credible source.
Credible, that's the word I wanted.
Okay, so to make sure that I hear you correctly. So according to this credible source, this person is saying that Nintendo wants to stream... Essentially, I could play Legend of Zelda on my PlayStation 4.
It's going to be select titles. It's going to be like your remote play.
What?
That's credible source. I don't know. It seems like a stretch to me, but I thought it sounded good, and it seems like something that it's not that far-fetched.
So when you brought it up to me, the first question I asked you was, why do companies merge?
That is because one's not doing so well, and the other one wants them.
And the first thing that I brought up was Disney's acquisition of Marvel. And now if you look at the calendar of movies that Marvel has access to, that was more interesting because Marvel wasn't really struggling, but Disney decided that they wanted to take ownership of that. And then that merger just took place. There's another merger. It was something digital. I can't even remember what. Something else just happened. Somebody just bought out a different company, and it was like Pixar or something like that, but I can't remember, and it's killing me. I'm going to remember later on and feel like an idiot, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know.
But, so, think of what we just said. So, Nintendo has been struggling against the other two power players for the last couple of years.
Yep.
Sony's led it. Microsoft has been close, but has fallen behind. Nintendo, not irrelevant, but not really part of that conversation. They're there because they have to be. So, for me, I would think it would be a really smart business decision as CEO of Nintendo to, what did we do with Analog Addiction? We're young, we're getting started, we're putting out content, and then here's Analog Addiction, who is a really solid, they've been at it for a long time, they have a really good viewership, so it made sense for us to try to partner up with them to make both of our brands a little bit stronger. So looking at Nintendo versus Sony's the leading person, was it Miyamoto? The guy who did... Metal Gear. Who did Metal Gear?
Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, so Kojima is now with Sony. Huge acquisition, because think of what they bring to the table. So if I'm a CEO of Sony, and I see how rabid of a fan base Nintendo fans are, Mario Karts, Legend of Zelda, why wouldn't I want to make a partnership to make them part of my company, to make my company they teamed up with Spotify. That was a huge thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because I stream all my Spotify stuff all the time. I listen to Spotify with my daughter all the time on my PlayStation 4.
Yep.
That was a great business decision. Netflix is on there. Hulu's on there. Why wouldn't they want Nintendo? Nintendo is going to want to still sell their hardware anymore, but if they're going into software development, why wouldn't you want Sony to spearhead that?
They don't make much money off of their hardware. Nintendo, their big moneymaker is their software anyway.
Right.
So if they don't have to worry about manufacturing
costs
a console, and they just fuse with PlayStation or even Xbox, they've got the player base already, and they're gonna make their Mario, Zeldas that are gonna sell ridiculous, and they're gonna be in the hands of like 40 million people.
Yeah. The concern that I posed to you was, how far do we go before this becomes a monopoly? If Sony and Nintendo team up, they're huge. Microsoft is really strong because Windows is essentially a monopoly. You can do Linux and some other stuff, but essentially you run Windows on every PC that you have.
Every Windows.
So it's not like monopolies don't exist, but how much longer before, if Sony teams up with Nintendo, how long before that company takes over Microsoft?
I don't know if that would ever really happen.
Why?
It would be awesome for us as consumers. But on a business standpoint, if that were to happen, the games we would end up getting on our end would probably be crappy. There's no competition. Competition is what drives innovation.
Correct, which is what America essentially is built. Well, business overall is built on competition. That's how it's more so in America, because everybody's so, I will destroy you for my own personal gain.
So Nintendo's not... everyone knows the Nintendo name, but you don't say you're playing your Nintendo anymore. You're playing your Xbox, you're playing your PlayStation. That's what your parents walk in. Oh yeah, he was playing his PlayStation, or he's playing his Xbox. Nintendo's not in that anymore.
So here's my thing, though. So in the spirit of competition, I look at a game like No Man's Sky. He has no competition. He came out of nowhere, independent developer, and it's a passion project. He made the game that he wanted to make with the team that he chose to make it, and he took as long as he wanted to take to make it. He has no equal footing as far as anybody else who's making a game like he's making. So if you take the competition out of it, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, and they're all the same mother brain who is just making Legend of Zelda, stuff like this, on the skeleton key style console that everybody can play everything and it doesn't really matter. Why would the content drop in quality?
Well, you're talking about an indie game.
Because you still want me to buy it.
Yeah, that's true. But you're talking about an indie game. So if an indie developer making a game that works on every console, that'd be fantastic. But when you're talking more AAA style, now that I'm thinking about it, you might not be that far off. That's a good point, because if, let's say, Naughty Dog is making, just like they are for just the PlayStation, it's going to be a fantastic game. Look at Last of Us, how beautiful that was.
Right.
And it was console specific. So if they did like a Call of Duty that only needed to be made for one console, I think that'd be beautiful. Well, that's a good point. You changed my mind. I mean,
with games like The Last of Us, I love that game. That game is amazing. Uncharted, it's an amazing console, or it's an amazing game series. I wish other people in other consoles can play that. I wish people that had a Nintendo could see how great of an experience The Last of Us was.
Yeah.
I know there's graphic renderings and outputs and frame rates and stuff like that. Like, I get all the technical side of that, but I don't care about that. That's dumb as 2016. Move on with technical specs. I feel like we should be evolved to the point where it doesn't matter what console you're streaming. I can get Netflix on anything. I can get Hulu on anything. I can get Spotify on anything.
You get that on your phone.
Yeah. Don't lock me down to a system if I want to play a different game on my system. So I 10 years down the road, maybe not even that, I bet you we will start to see, if it hasn't happened already, like a titan, of a company conglomeracy that has everything. I mean, say what you want about the price level and who is whatever, because competition helps the equilibrium of a price, because, every new game is $59.99 until you add the season pass on it and it raises in price. That would be my main concern, is if there's no competition, the price margin is going to be whatever they set it to be until people stop buying whatever to make the price go back to a reasonable rate, like, anything in economics.
Merger console sell it for like $2,000 and
and the first year whoever's going to buy it buys it. The second year it'll drop to a reasonable price where it will maintain from then on, which is what's happening right now with PlayStation 4s and Xboxes. So I don't know. It's an interesting concept for sure. I'm really interested in the next probably 2 years of conversations, of development, of production of stuff, because I think it's going to be a really exciting 2 years for consoles. When the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One launched, I thought that was the only time I was going to see like a big console war between PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. But with the addition of this other NX system and the possibility of the PlayStation Neo being like a front for Nintendo products, that's as excited as I've been about a console in a really long time.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be really interesting, for sure.
I'd be okay with it. I mean, back before Sony was their own company, Nintendo had a disc drive that they were going to tack on that was made by Sony. And they stood them up on the stage. And
I heard about that.
That was the development of the first PlayStation. So,
so hopefully that doesn't happen again. But the NX is not going to be at this E3, so I guess it doesn't necessarily.
Well, maybe Sony's going to take this opportunity. E3, they're going to announce their merger or whatever. But it's written in the script, and Nintendo's there ready to go, and
maybe
PlayStation just doesn't mention it.
And it just says "suck it," and it walks off. That would be fun. I'd be all right with that. That'd be one of the classier burns that I've ever heard. I'd be all right with that.
Hey, I mean, PlayStation burned Xbox. It's like, the used game thing. How to share games. So,
all right. Well, I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be interesting, to say the least.
For sure. So, all right, we're going to do our weekly wrap up of Analog Addiction's offers for the week, and we call that Analog Assemble. So we're going to take a break real quick. We'll cut it to that, let you see what we've done for the week, and then we'll be right back with the rest of the episode of Watch, Chat, Play. Devon here for Analog Addiction. This is our weekly segment called Analog Assemble, where I pretty much take everything that analogaddiction.org did throughout the week, and I'll wrap it up for you guys. So if you don't have time to read it, that's fine. I'll wrap it up for you, and I'll do it here. So we have a lot of ground to cover, so let's get right to it. First, reviews. Eric Pepper took Soda Drinker for a spin and said that it was obvious from the start that it's not meant to be taken seriously, nor is it designed to be a life-changing experience. Unfortunately, the game keeps the joke going for too long and the charm wears off. Eric gave the game a 3.8 out of 10, which is as low as I've seen any score on analogaddiction.org. So think really, really hard before you take this game home.
Jamie Briggs spent some time with Severed and said it's an ambitious release that utilizes the unique features of the PlayStation Vita well and is easily one of the best Vita exclusives available. Narratively, Severed struggles to produce a memorable hero or even a memorable story, but addictive and immersive gameplay kept me coming back, which is awesome. Jamie ended up giving Severed an 8.2 out of 10, so not too bad at all. That's it, review. So next we'll go with some news. Some pretty important stuff for both PlayStation and Xbox fans. So PlayStation Plus and Games with Gold are going to get a whole bunch of games pretty soon. We'll start with PlayStation Plus. You guys get to look forward to Tropico 5, Tabletop Racing World Tour, Bionic Commando, and Loco Roco Cocochoco, or some crazy derivative that I've been practicing for hours and I cannot nail that one, so you're on your own. God of War Ghost of Sparta, which I've never seen a God of War game I haven't liked, and Switch Galaxy Ultra. So to see what consoles and the dates, go to analogaddiction.org. I just was going to give you the best version of the title that I could. Looking at you, Loco Roco. Next, Games with Gold. Subscribers can get Defense Grid 2, Costume Quest, and Peggle. And there's a lot more, especially on the Wii U, the NX, and stuff like that. So if you're interested, head to analogaddiction.org. We'll have all that content for you there. So that wraps it up for this version of Analog Assemble. See you next week.
Well, that's our show. Thanks for being a part of this.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for being a part of our 10th episode ever.
10.
We only get to do 10 once, and then it'll be multiples of 10, but still. You only double digits. Happy birthday to us.
Doesn't it go 10 and then the next one we do is 20? Isn't that how you count?
We go from 10 to 20?
Yeah. And then 40? No? Oh. I guess I'm not very good at this now.
Not in any math I've ever read.
Oh.
So
well, anyway.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to us. If you saw this, if you liked it, share it with a friend. What YouTube stuff are you watching right now? What's your favorite?
Good Mythical Morning. I watch it every day, but have been for a couple of years now.
Good Mythical Morning has changed my life in the past probably 2 weeks.
And I've been watching people throw down some sick skateboard tricks.
You're the worst. Oh, you're the worst with your stupid skateboard stuff.
Andy Schrock, that's what's up.
And obviously, if you haven't already, or if you're watching us there, if you haven't already, go to analogaddiction.org, check them out. If you're there watching us, thank you for checking us out. Our YouTube channel is Watch Chat Play. Mm-hmm. Just go to YouTube, Google that. You can find us there.
Did you just say go to YouTube and Google that?
Well, because you can go to YouTube and put it into the search bar, but that might be too hard. If they just Google it, Watch Chat Play, it'll take them to YouTube anyway.
Wait, oh. We get Googled?
We are fully searchable
now.
now.
That's awesome.
Pretty much, if you type Watch Chat Play into your URL browser, it'll probably find us, which I think is real cool.
That's worth a shot.
For sure. So we got something pretty cool coming up. It's called Sushi Roulette, which, full disclosure, I thought that I invented this. I thought it was Sushi Roulette, and I thought it was original, and I was really excited to play it with you, and then I looked it up on the Googles.
It's a thing.
It's been a thing for several years.
Well, you can have kind of credit because you didn't know.
Yeah, because I invented it on my own, but it was already invented, which is not my fault. Still original idea. Mm-hmm. It was a Devin McCarty IP, but somebody else already coined it, which is...
So we're gonna take sushi and throw some hot sauce on it, and probably gonna cry.
We're gonna have multiple pieces of sushi. We're gonna play a couple different games, and then the loser of each round has to eat one of our crazy assortment of sushi. One of them's gonna be completely clean. The other one's gonna be terrible, horrible, no good, very bad. So
probably the hottest sauce I have in my cupboard.
So stay tuned for that. That's gonna be the thing. We'll probably launch that first on Wednesday, and then we'll have another one. I think Toy Box War Chest, which I'm excited about. That let's play.
I have no idea. That's all you.
So go back to your childhood, play with some He-Man, some G.I. Joes. There's Care Bears running around there. It's gonna be.
Do we get to kill the Care Bears?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I'm in.
So thank you for watching Watch Chat Play. My name is Devin,
and I'm Cameron,
and we'll see you next week.
Later, guys.